Hey everybody, it's Mike, and I am ready to talk about Hare Krishna stuff, Prabhupada and extremism. We're going to get to it. What do we got here? We got Dahlia Roberts. Hey, glad to see you here. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. And Tim, good to see you, Tim. And it's always a good one here. I'm glad to see everybody here. Okay, so we're going to get into it with Prabhupada and extremism. And I'm really excited about this, but I want to get in do the opening first. So let's get right to the opening.
Hello?
Hello.
I just love that wheel. I love that wheel. Um, uh, that is great. And I'm sure, I got to tell you, sir, I'm certain somewhere on some Hare Krishna cult member's wall, there's a wheel, and I'm on it. I guarantee it. But anyway, I do want to start off with. I don't have knitting cult lady today. Uh, let's see, what do I have? I don't have anything like that. Um, Actually, I do. I have a video. Well, I'm gonna wait. I'll do this later. Um, I have a couple videos, but I'm just gonna wait. So I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna just explain what's going on. Okay. So this is the first time I really came across someone who sees ISKCON and Krishna cults pretty much the same way I do, exactly the same, exactly the same way I do. And I don't know how I didn't see this article. I think maybe when I found this web page, this article hadn't been written yet, and then because I was only really into the Hare Krishna stuff when I left for maybe like a year. So like I left in 2012, so like maybe 2013 and maybe 2014, maybe I was still like researching stuff. And then pretty much after that, I was done. So I think this article came out after I found this webpage. So this is the first time I actually read this, and the title. Let me just show you where it. Let me just show you. This is from a Hare Krishna cult exposed, and I was saying before that this is Gopal Krishna Swami's wife, ex-wife, and she has a page where she talks about her experiences, and she talks about Krishna consciousness. And she has this article, Eastern Cults as Incubators of Extremism, the Hare Krishna movement. And I don't think I'd ever read this before. So I'm gonna share some of it with you. It's pretty long. I'm not gonna go over it all. But basically, what she says here, she says, to my readers, if you are new to this blog or one of my regulars, it is almost certain that you or a member of your family has been manipulated at some time by the tactics of the Hare Krishna cultists. It is also safe to assume that you wonder how the Islamic terrorists ravaging the Middle East attract so many youthful followers despite their death-loving ideology. In fact, you already know why and how such quasi-religious cults operate based on your experience within ISKCON. Now is the time to retrieve this knowledge out of the dustbin of the past and put it to practical use. She goes on. Introduction. Why is the sight of a youth being recruited on the street by a member of ISIS so eerily familiar? That describes my feelings exactly, as I recently saw a video clip from Australia of one of these fanatics in action. The pattern is unmistakable. The target is approached by a person whose appearance and fervor declares an allegiance to a call to arms that transcends the rule of law and any obligations to family or to the homeland. This call to brotherhood, complete with handshakes and hugs, is nothing more than an invitation to join a gang whose core ideology and practices reveal that it is really nothing more than a cult. Worse, the signs pointing to cults as incubators of extremism have been glaringly obvious in the West for more than 40 years. She goes on, she talks about joining ISIS. She says, those of us with years of experience in ISKCON should use the valuable insights we possess to teach such would-be miscreants. I don't like the use of the word miscreants, but to teach such would-be miscreants how to avoid the cult indoctrination process altogether. They might have mutated over 2 generations, but the diseases afflicting both cultists and terrorists have one symptom in common. At their core, they are cults of personality with only a thin veneer of religiosity. She says, before I continue with my essay, I would like to thank 2 great souls, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar for his inspiring critique of the caste system, and Swami Vivekananda, who also illuminated my solitary path. So then she goes on to talk about ISIS and how it is, enlisting, and how they, their practices, how they get young people to join. Hey, Eliana, great to see you here. You should use the word rascals, as Srila Prabhupada did. Well, he also used the word miscreants, and so it's just, a lot of times when these Prabhupada words pop up, it's, I don't know, but it's okay. I'm not critiquing it. It's just a throwback. It's just kind of like a throwback. So she goes on and she talks about religious fundamentalists and ISIS, Islam. She says the reformation of Islam needs at a minimum is therefore twofold. Its members must repair its image worldwide, beginning with condemning the terrorists' model of rape and plunder as economic and political suicide. In addition, private and public educational institutions must endeavor to create an atmosphere where Islamic interpretation is encouraged and its scholars are protected. Okay, so it goes on with more. She goes, because I don't want to bring up too much, but this is definitely important stuff. She says, who can forget? It says cults of personality. Who can forget the first time you set eyes on your guru and felt your heart leap in the presence of what you believed was a direct conduit to the spiritual realm? Surely his Vedic wisdom, the glory of Eastern spirituality, far surpassed the inferior Abrahamic religions. It all seems somehow miraculous. The ecstatic mantra chanting and dancing, together with the immediate acceptance by the devotees in the temple, seemed to transport you to another sphere of existence, one in which the rules of your former life need no longer apply. What if your new life required you to required you to sleep on the floor, rise at 4 o'clock in the morning to worship brass and marble deities, and then spend the rest of your day on the street or at airports hawking books you hardly read yourself? What if your guru, despite all scientific evidence to the contrary, insists that the infallible Vedic cosmology locates the sun closer to the earth than the moon and states that this planet itself is a disk supported in the heavens by 4 elephants? So, I mean, really, seriously, this is the first time I've read something that it sounds like I could have written this myself if I had the prose if I had the talent. And she goes on and on. She goes on. I don't mean on and on, but I mean she has a lot to say. She mentions a conversation that Prabhupada had, and that's where it gets a little weird here. But I'm gonna go ahead and. So she says. To new adherents searching for a rapid-fire means to enlightenment, the ardent blind faith in a few lines of a holy book taken out of context often seems like an easy way to feign knowledge of a scripture. They lack the erudition and the inclination to study and read at greater length. In most cases, however, they slavishly follow and disseminate their leaders' commentaries on scripture without reading the original for themselves and seeking to educate themselves beyond what is strictly allowed by the cult. The following examples of scripture and commentary from sacred texts of Hinduism and Islam show what mischief can arise when they are taken literally. So, and she is an early disciple, so she was around from the beginning. She actually wrote letters to Prabhupada. She was there, I guess, with Prabhupada at times. She was married by Prabhupada. This woman is no, Bhakta Judy or whatever. Okay, so she quotes she quotes Prabhupada, and I'm going to show you here so you can see. So she's quoting Prabhupada, and she says, Arjuna was a great Vaishnava, and he was killing. Bhima was a great Vaishnava, and he was killing. Dhruva Maharaj was a Vaishnava, and he was killing. Parikshit Maharaj was killing. Prahlad Maharaj was killing. Rama was killing. Krishna was killing. Practically speaking, Vaishnavas are killers. It is not that because Muhammad used a sword, we also must use a sword. No, we can use a gun. We will ask, you like Krishna? No? Boom. You like Krishna? No? Boom. We can use everything for Krishna. We can use the atom bomb for Krishna. We have to kill this civilization of mudhas. Those who are mudhas, we have to kill them. This is our business. Kill all the mudhas. Not now, but later when we are more powerful. So she goes on and what she's doing basically, she's doing the exact same thing that I said I was going to do, but she's already doing, is she compares it to the Prabhupada's teachings and what he says, what he wants, and the Quran. So she now quotes the Quran. She says, the Holy Quran, quote, and kill them wherever you find them, and turn them out from where they have turned you out. And al-fitnah is worse than killing, but if they desist, then lo, Allah is forgiving and merciful, and fight them until there is no more fitnah, and worship is for Allah alone. I will cast terror into the hearts of those who disbelieve, therefore strike off their heads and strike off every fingertip of them. So she goes on and she says, the kill the mudha's bluster A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada engaged in during the last years of his life shows how role-playing is an intrinsic part of the cult leadership mentality. Another is the practice of demonizing your real or imagined opponents and both exaggerating the threat they pose to you as well as your reaction to it. The fools our guru advocated killing would include anyone not a Krishna devotee. Yet when he went to Tehran to preach, his absolutism shifted to relativism. We accepted Muhammad as the representative of God, unquote, as an obvious attempt to disarm his hosts. He would also use this trick on Christians and Jews. He claimed that Jesus was an avatar of Vishnu and praised Jewish intelligence on various occasions. But then he also praised Hitler. So this conversation that Prabhupada, that she's quoting is, if you go to look it up, that's where it gets sticky. This conversation is not readily available in the Vedabase. Part of it is there, and I'm going to try and explain some of that. So let me see. I got breaking news. Breaking news here. So Eliana. Audios are killers. They're killers. We're killers, man. That's what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says Vaishnavas are killers. You got a gangster name. Prabhupada's got a gangster name. OG Swami. Swami dog. OG Swami dog, I guess. Okay, so Easy Market. Hey, Easy Market, how you doing? Did you hear about Indra Yumna getting arrested? No, I have no way of hearing that. I'm hearing it now from you. That's about it. I don't know. I was checking everything, just getting ready for today's show. I didn't see anything about that. I don't know how that slipped. I don't know how that's. I mean, no, I didn't. I didn't hear anything about that. Hayden, how you doing, Hayden? Glad to see you here. Glad to see everybody here, man. It's great to have everyone here. Buddhism and Islam operate on the same philosophy of killing and murder. Well, let me go back over here. What happened to Indra Yumna? I don't know what happened. I haven't heard. I haven't heard anything. I want to know if anybody knows. If anybody. Okay, he was arrested in Russia for illegally preaching. Well, you know, they say they're above the law. I'm surprised that didn't work out. I mean, wasn't he chanting the Shringadev or something? I mean, wasn't he like ching, ching, ching? I mean, they do think that they're above the law. That one lecture, the guy was saying, hey, we're above the law. We're devotees. We can do whatever we want. And then they point to Lord Chaitanya and they go, well, you know, Lord Chaitanya did his whole thing. Did he? Did he really do that? Is there a record of that happening? Did he really get everybody up and chanting and go to the Qazi's house and do? Did that really happen? I mean, is there a historical? I'm asking. I don't know. I really don't know. But they want to say they're above the law and it's Chaitanya's golden age and all of this. Why would he get arrested in Russia? I think they warned them. I think they've been warned. I mean, I think they've been warned. I think they were told, you can't do that here. We don't, you know, and this whole, you know, arrested for illegally preaching. It's not preaching that they're arrested for scamming. They're like, you guys are scammers. You guys aren't gurus. You guys are. That's my personal. That's my personal take on the whole thing. Is like the Russians aren't falling for that. The Russian government's not falling for that. I wouldn't fall for that. I'd say, what are you? You want a permit for what? You're a church? Show me where you're a church. Oh, because because 10 of you guys get together in a house and you worship a statue of some guy and you chant on your beads and you chingy ching ching. You want me to believe you're a church and I'm going to allow you what? Get 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 out of here with that. Get out of here with that. I'm surprised he wasn't arrested for fondling some little girl. That's what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say, hey, the guy got arrested for fondling a little girl. Um, but, such is luck, such is the luck, He's in a Russian jail. They arrested him at the Sadhu Sangha 25 festival. Hey, well, you know what? Maybe there is a God. I don't know. Maybe there is a God. Wow. Maybe I'll do a show about that. Well, we can spin the wheel. Maybe it'll end up on him, and we'll check it out. But I haven't heard anything about that. Hey, Rafael, did you hear about Rafael? Did you hear about your boy getting arrested? I didn't hear anything about. I didn't hear somebody saying he's in jail. I remember a video of Prabhupada and his early disciples who were asked difficult questions, and when they can't answer, disciples threaten to beat up the inquiry. Well, it was a little bit more than that, but yeah, I mean, okay, so we totally got sidetracked with Indra Yumna getting arrested for preaching, but that's what they're saying, man. That his time came. I hope you're right, Tim. I hope that it's like a reckoning. Like it's hard to get these guys on anything. So because they have religious status, they have tax exempt status, they have freedom of religion, they have all of these loopholes that lets them get away with scamming. And hopefully it is his time. I hope it is his time. Okay, let's see. We got breaking news. As of September 26th, Indra Yumna Swami was detained by police in Krasnodar, Russia, for an administrative offense. The incident occurred during the Sadhu Sangha 2025 festival. He was charged with carrying out missionary activity without proper documentation to confirm his authority. Yeah, because he's, and I know it sounds like, oh, you keep saying that, but they really do think they're above the law, and they think that their stick and their orange clothes and their bald head and their flowers around their neck is going to get them off of everything. It's going to get him off when the guy uses his phone when he's not supposed to be using his phone. They can preach wherever they want to preach. They can sell books wherever they want to sell books. They don't have to follow the law. They come through the airport making a big scene with their whole. Who else gets to do that? They get to do that. Who else gets to disrupt? Who gets to disrupt the airport with their big drums and their whole thing? They disrupt everything. They get to do it because they're a church and it's this and it's that and it's a Swami. Yeah, no Swami. First of all, if he's a Swami, he'd be following the rules. He'd be saying, "What is so important about I got to break the law to be a Swami? Like he can't go be a Swami somewhere where it's legal to be a Swami? Was that so? They outlawed religion in Russia, so hey, I gotta go break the law. I go in there because I'm a Swami and I'm Lord Chaitanya and I'm. It's like it's like who gets to do that? And to a certain extent, they get away with it because, like that Swami said to the cop. First of all, he breaks the law and he uses his phone in the car, and he's not supposed to be on the phone in the car, right? The cop pulls him over and says, "You're using your phone on the car." The guy starts lying to the cop. "No, I wasn't using it. I wasn't. You're trying to do a Jedi mind trick on him, I'm not the monk you're looking for. I wasn't using my phone. And then the cop's gonna go, that's kind of like wink, wink. I'm not. I wasn't using my phone. Wink, wink. You see, I'm a monk, right? And you got to let me go. No, the cop's like, I'm not letting you go. You're lying to me. And then he gets out and he goes, hey, yeah, okay, okay. You got me. Okay, you got me. Here's the link. Yeah, send me the link. He said, you got me. And then the cop ends up letting him go anyway. So even though the cop busted him, he lied to the cop. The cop says, hey, man, what kind of monk are you lying to me? You're supposed to be all Mr. Truthful. And then he's like, yeah, you're right. I was on the phone. And the cop's like, yeah, I like you. You can go. So even though even the guy was breaking the law and he lied to the cop, the cop still let him go. That's how these religious people, this is how these scammers are. They're scamming everybody. He's scamming the cop. Like, why should he get a break for using his phone? Seriously, why does he get a break for you? I wouldn't get a break. What, he's talking to God? What do you think he's talking to God? Oh, you're talking to God? Oh, I'm gonna have to let you slide. Well, who's he talking? What difference does it make who he's talking to? Bunch of bullshit. Okay, wait. I saw that one. Ruby on. I don't know. Ruby on Rails on Roblox. Okay. Seems like Indra Yumna was really immersed in Manjari Bhava. Yeah, he's into the 11-year-old girls in this lifetime. He's not waiting for next. He's not. He's not waiting to become an 11-year-old girl in his next life. He wants to be around 11-year-old girls in this lifetime. The scumbag, and maybe that's why they targeted this guy. Maybe they're like, we don't mind you guys preaching and being all Hare Krishna, but you gotta enough with the little girls. Enough with the little girls, dude. Maybe that's why they got him. I don't know. Maybe who? I don't know. Here's the link, but the link does not working. Srinath J. Hare Krishna Prabhu. We don't do that here, but I can understand you're confused. But I'm glad you're here because you can get Indra Yumna is arrested in jail. Yes, yes. Woo! Chingy ching 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 ching. Uh, that's a good one. Hey, I don't know about that. Putin don't fuck around. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying because a couple years ago, they had like a crackdown. They had a crackdown in Russia, and I was like, how come the Hare Krishnas are still over there? How come they still getting away with it? Uh, what a news! Yeah, what news? What a great way for me to start my day. Because the guy really is creepy. Of all these creepy guys, he's one of the main ones. Okay, so I think we got that out of the way. I think until we get an update, when somebody wants to send me the link. Now, what I wanted to say was going back to this person's back to her essay and this quote. Okay, I wanted to bring attention to this quote that she starts at the beginning. She says, "Practically speaking, Vaishnavas are killers. It's not that we be. It is not that because Muhammad used a sword, we must also use a sword. No, we can use a gun. We will ask, you like Krishna? No, boom. You like Krishna? No, boom." Okay, so if you go to look this up, you're not going to find this. I've been looking for it. Well, now you will find. They need to crack down on this goddamn religion that ruins people's lives. Absolutely, absolutely. If you go try and find this, excuse me. Again, brought to you by 7-Up. If you try to find this quote, it's a little difficult to find it in its entirety. If you go to the Veda base, you won't find it. You're going to find something. Well, what you're going to find is Vrindavan, March 15th, 1974, and then there's this conversation that Prabhupada has. Prabhupada has this conversation with Nitai. He was one of Prabhupada's nemesis, and he says, so in this conversation here, this is okay. So the Veda base says this is March 15th or something, March whatever, and Prabhupada says, when there will be military march of Krishna conscious soldiers, anyone who does not believe in Krishna, blam. Yes, the same process as the Mohammedans did with sword and Quran we'll have to do that. Do you believe in Krishna or not? No, sir. Blam. Finished. Laughter. Prabhupada laughs. What do you think, Madhuvisa Maharaj? Is that all right? Madhuvisa, yes. Okay, so it gets confusing because it's not the same quote that she has that she put, but it's the same. It's almost the same dialogue. It's almost the same dialogue. But Prabhupada adds the point about the atom bomb. Now, let me just say this: if you go to PrabhupadaBooks.com, which is I think it's run by Ritvix, and they have the original books and everything up here. You're going to find the conversation a little bit different, and it's longer. They don't have the whole conversation. I don't know. And the reason for this is because I think I can't prove it because I don't work for the BBT. I don't work for the archives. Those are some shady characters in there, but because they answer to nobody but themselves. They can do whatever they want. The BBT, the archives, who's ever compiling all this stuff, they can do whatever they want. And so the Ritviks kind of have control of some of the books, and when they were legally able to, they got a hold of all the books and everything, and they digitized all the original books, and somehow. So there's okay, but originally that's a whole nother issue. The issue originally starts with when they were recording Prabhupada with a tape recorder and a microphone. It was actually some flunky guy like Satsvarupa or one of these other guys. Who knows who it was? Who knows who was standing there with the tape recorder recording this conversation? But they would record everything Prabhupada said. So in the morning, when he got up in the morning and he went on his morning walk, they'd record him. And then maybe later, if he's meeting with someone in his room, they're recording that. And then later on, when he's giving a class, Bhagavad Gita class or something, they're recording that. And then later on, when he's having a conversation in his room with some guests come to see him, they're recording that. And most likely, because they were cheap back then, Prabhupada wanted to just record over every single cassette, and these guys were like, let's not record over every cassette. Let's save these cassettes and put, So they would flip the cassette over and record the next day or whatever. So when they had a bunch of cassettes, somebody would sit there and transcribe what Prabhupada said on these cassettes and put it into a transcription and log it in. Morning walk, he said this. Whatever day he said that, this conversation to who it was. Sometimes they don't know what he's saying. Sometimes they don't know what verse he said. Sometimes they didn't hear it right, or you can't hear it on the tape. So it just says indistinct, or there's a break in the tape, and it says break, or the conversation just jumps. So who knows if the conversation, whoever was transcribing these conversations, maybe they thought that the afternoon conversation was part of the morning, or the morning was part of the afternoon, or it was on the other side of the tape, and that became the next, and they made mistakes. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made because here it is 1993, 94. I'm working for ITV. I'm a new guy. I'd only been around for like 2 years. And here I am. I got a job. I'm working at ITV for Nishringananda, and I'm subtitling Prabhupada's lectures. That was my service. That was the service I was getting at the LA Temple. So if someone like me, if after just 2 years, now they got me subtitling Prabhupada's lectures because I had video experience, and it wasn't just me by myself. There was Manu, who grew up in the movement. He's like a grown Guru Kuli. He's doing it with me. We're both working on the same video, on the same lecture, me and him. So he knew more than me. I'm doing a lot of the technical work, but I'm still sitting there and doing, watching the video that I'm doing and typing in the words and typing in what Prabhupada's saying. They had me doing that, and they had Manu doing that. And we would make mistakes or not know what was going on, and we'd have to go get one of the Swamis to come over and say, hey, put the headphones on, and what is Prabhupada saying? What verse is he saying? What is he saying here? We don't understand his accent and this and that. And sometimes we would think he said something, and we were totally off. Swami would say, no, it's this. He's saying this. So the guy that's recording these conversations, how do we know that this morning conversation and the afternoon conversation, the morning walk conversation is morning walk and not afternoon conversation? Because he doesn't know. He's just got a bunch of tapes, and they got written on there, morning walk. So I think that's where there's mistakes in why these conversations don't match up. There's things that don't match up. So while I was researching this, because I read her conversation, I read her essay, and I read the portions of the conversation that she reproduced, and I said, I remember that, but I can't find it in the database. I can't find that exact verbatim conversation. The exact wording is similar wording, but some of it's left out. But there is some interesting things in this conversation. And I'm going to share some of these more interesting things in this conversation. It's not just the atom bomb and we can just walk up to people and shoot them. There's other things in this very same conversation that are really, well, you got to hear for yourself. So what is this guy saying? I don't know what this Bobby Brooks, because I don't want people to think I'm ignoring anybody. What is this? Love how you geniuses. Okay, well, nobody said we're geniuses. I love how you geniuses don't see any similarity between the opposite sides, both bizarrely taking the bizarre names and ISIS and ICE. Bobby, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you really that dense? Because ICE, is an acronym for a government agency. And I'll explain it to you. Immigration and Customs Enforcement or something like that. ICE. ISIS is also an acronym, and they don't call themselves ISIS. So when you talk about geniuses, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know that what you're saying, as Tim says here, as Tim so succinctly put it, Bobby Brooks, you make no sense. That's like, it doesn't get any simpler for that. Tim says this is a group of people who are in pain from atrocities this religion does. Nothing you say will change anything. Yeah. Bobby doesn't even know what he's talking about. I don't know. Bobby's talking about ISIS and ICE. Like, he's trying to compare ICE and ISIS and then say they have the same name. So isn't that like, don't you guys see the connection between ICE and ISIS? And he's calling us, and he's making fun of us and saying that we're geniuses. He's being sarcastic. He's being sarcastic and calling us geniuses, and wants us to say that there's a connection between ISIS and ICE, and we don't see it. Tell me their brains aren't mush. Tell me that their brains aren't mush. Okay, so let me get into this conversation. Let me get into this this conversation. It's interesting, and I want you to know that and this is where it gets weird, because this conversation, there's a morning walk conversation, and then there's also this thing where it says Varnashram College conversation, and I think that's where it's getting mixed up. I think somehow, I don't know why or how, I can't explain it, but there's something wrong there. So let's see. So Prabhupada is saying, therefore they are against religion, but actually if we show that we are producing, we are managing, we are educating, then we can counteract the communist tendency. But they are seeing that escaping. They say they escape responsibility of worldly life, and they're indulging in some religious. That is the tendency, everywhere. The government is complaining like that. Therefore, they do not want to increase the number of temples, increase the number of devotees. Yes, that's Prabhupada's actually absolutely right. They are saying that you only take from society. You don't give anything to society. You're not giving anything back to society. You don't provide anything. You don't provide any service. You don't contribute. You get tax breaks, and you get your perks and everything, but you don't provide anything, and you don't, you escape, everything. You're just a cult, exactly. And they don't want to help you because it's not the government's place to help you. So anyway, so Prabhupada's complaining about that. Prabhupada goes on and he says, they do not want, because they say these are a class of idle men. They cannot do anything, and they take to this religious life. That's exactly right. Again, like I've said, these lifelong devotees, they can barely drive a taxi. They can't work in a store. They can't do anything. They can't bring home a check. They can't do anything. They can sell books. They can sit and sell books behind a book table, or go chingy ching in the middle of the city and hawk their books to somebody. That's about it. That's about it. He goes on, he says, that is the tendency. They are feeling like that, but if you show that you are actually doing something ideal, then they will appreciate. Make a small unit of community and show ideal life, not idle life, ideal life. Well, they've shown us you've shown the world for the last 40 years that you ruin people's lives, you abuse children, women, children, you have racist views, homophobic, racist, sexist, misogynistic views. Well, he's going to explain all of this himself. Then that now in Bombay they have refused, because they are under the impression that these Europeans have come here under some sentiment. And what is the use? They have taken some plea and rejected and there's a break. As we are making counter propaganda against Maya, the Maya is also very strong. She will also make propaganda against you. Very strong. She, Maya, she's the woman. So unless you become very sincere devotee, and then he quotes Bhagavad Gita, then it will not be possible to conquer over Maya. You'll be succumbed. Hare Krishna. And then he says, in India, the Brahmana class, they say, oh, I am born in Brahmana family. Why should I do this work? You see, therefore, the whole society has gone to hell. In your country still, they accept any kind of work. It doesn't matter. And here in India, if he happens to be a Brahmana, he'll not take any kind of work. Means just like plowing. He'll not agree, therefore so much land. The Kshatriya is thinking, I am Kshatriya. The Brahmana is thinking, I am Brahmana. And the land is lying fallow. There is no production. He will go to the office and fight with the pen as a Kshatriya. Instead of studying the Vedas, he'll study the rules and regulations given by the office. So you can see he's just disgusted with just regular life. Everything has to be according to him. This is amazing. Wait a minute. Wait. Who is saying what? Sacred. What is this bullshit? What is this bullshit? Who is this rascal speaking nonsense? This is an association of crows. Keep crowing. No, you're in the right place because you're here to be deprogrammed. The algorithm was smarter than you. The algorithm knew you're a cult member. So the algorithm sent you to me to get you deprogrammed. So the algorithm is my friend, and the algorithm is smarter than you. The algorithm knows you're an idiot, and it says, why? Anyone who calls themselves sacred has got to be friggin' delusional. And what, you're upset that I'm talking, you're upset that I'm repeating Prabhupada's words? Prabhupada's words are upsetting you? Ah, man, that's amazing. I don't understand that. Okay, here we go again with it. What we got? Another brainiac. Christianity is monotheistic religion, very similar to Islam, which believes their religion is the only religion. Third world Christianity is different from first world. No one's talking about Christianity, dude. What is? Can you focus on what we're talking about, or are you just a brainwashed nut? Are you a brainwashed nut, Subhagya, Rajan, Sadhu? Who's talking about Jesus or Christianity? Can you friggin' stop thinking like a brainwashed cult fanatic for even a moment and listen to what's being said? God damn, these friggin' Hare Krishnas are stupider than shit. Who the fuck is talking about Christianity, and why are you bringing it up? No one's talking about Christianity, and I'm not a Christian. So what the hell is your problem, man? Get a grip on life, man. You guys come in here every time I come on live, they want to start talking about Jesus. Like you see a cross on this wall anywhere? You see a cross anywhere? There's no cross anywhere. The fuck? And people are fucking stupid. So let me get back to Prabhupada being a fucking extremist, a religious extremist on the same level as ISIS and the Taliban. So Prabhupada says, let's see, he goes on and he says, Prabhupada says, that means mismanagement. You had no desire to take to Krishna consciousness, but you have taken to it by some way. Oh, he says, Prabhupada says, not employment, they'll not work. That means mismanagement. Why they should remain down. They should remain without any employment. But the government is not doing that. Devotee. They do not feel inspired. Prabhupada. Huh? Devotee. They do not feel inspired. No one has desire. Prabhupada. That means mismanagement. You had no desire to take to Krishna consciousness, but you have taken to it by some way or other. That is management. And this idiot, Hridayananda, says, Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, that is management. Hridayananda, the brown noser that he's ever been, you are expert manager. What is this idiot saying again? These idiots. Just saying problems everywhere don't reduce to just one. Yeah, there's problems everywhere, but I'm talking about this problem. You want to talk about problems in Christianity, or you want to talk about problems somewhere else, go talk about problems somewhere else. I'm talking about this problem. I'm talking about the problem of pedophilia and extremism in Prabhupada's cult. You want to talk about other problems? There's a lot of problems in the world that can be talked about. and you're free to go talk about them. In fact, people are talking about all kinds of things all over the place. I'm talking about this here. And if you don't want to talk about this here, you can go the fuck somewhere else. You're going to come in here and try and muddy up my class. You're going to muddy up my class with your bullshit. These trolls, man, they think that they're so fucking stupid. They don't know Mike. They just don't know who Mike is, and they think they're going to come in here and they're going to teach me a thing or two. Fuck you. What the fuck? So to get back to what I was saying, these fucking idiots interrupting me. Prabhupada, a child does not want to go to school, but it is the duty of the parent to send him to school by some way or another. So that's the government's duty. That a man should be employed according to his capacity. There should be no unemployment. That is a very dangerous position of the society. So basically what Prabhupada is saying is that, we'll put everybody to work. So he says, Prabhupada says, so much lying vacant. They have taken it into consideration that what is the use of working in the land? Better kill one animal and eat easily because he doesn't care for sinful activities. If I can eat the cow, why should I take so much trouble to till the land? This is going on all over the world. Indian man. Employment means now just cut the money and not to work. No work. Prabhupada, yes, the same. Employment, even for the woman. Charaka. You see, Gandhi also studied this. There must be. Women should be engaged. Okay, here we go. Okay, get ready, everybody. Women should be engaged for weaving. What is it called? Devotee. Spinning. Prabhupada, spinning. Yes, everyone should be engaged. This is management. So all GBC members must see that in every temple, everyone is engaged. So he says women should be engaged. They should be engaged, like I said, in spinning, in making clothes, in spinning cloth, spinning yarn, spinning fabric, and sewing cloth and making clothes. Prabhupada, spinning, yes, everyone should be engaged. That is management. So all GBC members must see that in every temple, everyone is engaged. All the women have to be spinning and sewing. That's Prabhupada says, Brahmananda. That is the meaning of leadership. See, they're like right there along with him. Prabhupada, that is the meaning of leadership. Hridayananda. And that all the devotees are protected. Prabhupada, huh? Prabhupada's like, what? Hridayananda, and all the devotees are protected. Prabhupada, yes, everyone should be engaged. And if everyone is engaged, he'll never fall sick. Bullshit. Yes. And then there's a break in the tape, and then Prabhupada says, the farmers, their son, they're giving up farming business. Hansaduta. Going to the city. Prabhupada, going to the city in your country also. Atriya Rish. Yes, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Or you have nothing to do with farming. Atriya Rish. Excuse me. Prabhupada, your country, there is nothing to do with farming. You have got petrol. Atriya Rish. No, there is a lot of good land, but they're not developing it. So it then jumps to this March 14th, 1974 morning walk conversation. And I don't know if it's the same conversation or not. But they're talking about, see, I don't know if this is the same because they're talking about school. He says, let me just show you here so you can see. Okay, he says, Prabhupada says, actually, Bhagavan. Bhagavan says the society would go to the Gurukula, and there it would be decided what their work would be. Prabhupada, yes. First of all, there should be an instructor on the spiritual life. Then according to his position, our spiritual life is met. We should always remember. But for management, we have to make divisions. Devotee, actually the whole society could be Vaishnav. Prabhupada, they're Vaishnav, but because they have got to live in the material world, there must be division of work. If everyone wants to become the brain, who will act as leg? That is also required. If everyone says, no, I'm not going to do the work of leg, I want simply to work as, no, it is needed. The brain is needed, the hand is needed, the belly is needed, the leg is needed. So we have to divide. Who will work as brain, who will work as hand, and who will work as leg. So Prabhupada is saying that they'll decide who is who, and they'll put people to work according to what they say people should work. The main aim is how to maintain this body perfectly fit. That should be the aim. How society will go on nicely. So everything is for the better of society. So the person's rights, my right or our rights to do whatever we want is given up for the betterment of society. It's important. The main aim is how to maintain this body perfectly. Society. That should be the aim. How the society will go on nicely. And for management, this hand, leg, brain, belly must be divided. Just like there's slight difference, those who are directly engaged in temple worship and those who are going to sell books. Apparently there's difference, but basically there is no difference. Like that. If one can sell books nicely, why he should be, I mean to say, engaged in the temple worship. He can do better work in that way. But there is no difference between selling the books and the temple worship. So yeah, there's no difference between toiling all day in the field, growing food and being a farmer and working your ass off and, working in the deity room doing puja. No different. It's the same. Just one's the hand and one's the leg. And, and don't worry, we'll figure out who should be doing what. If one can sell books nicely, why should he be, engaged in temple? He can do better work in that way, but there is no difference between selling books and temple worship or washing the dish. There is no difference because it is all transcendental. Just like Angani, Yasya, Saklandrinya, Krishna's hands and legs, there's no difference. You've read this verse. You've heard my brainwashing before. Hansaduta, yes. Prabhupada, but still, leg and hand. Madhuvisa. Srila Prabhupada, Madhuvisa. Krishna says, Ya idam param gunya. Yeah, he wants to show off. Madhuvisa. He says, those who repeat the message of Bhagavad Gita are most dear friends to me, and there's no one more dear to me than he. Prabhupada, wouldn't that indicate that a preacher is higher than a worker? See, they're already staking out their place. If I'm preaching, then I don't have to go sell books, right? I don't have to go milk that cow or work in the field, right? Because I'm preaching. Prabhupada, yes, this is preaching. This is preaching. You help. Suppose you are preaching, and if I help you, just like I'm preaching, you're helping. You are also preaching. Atriya Rish. Also, this building is preaching. Prabhupada, this is also preaching. So it is not that preaching means simply talking. Preaching means everything. The construction is also preaching. The designing is also preaching. Everything is. Yeah, right, Prabhupada? Yeah, sure. Sure it is. We got another idiot. Krishna is a cult, but Jesus is not. Who said Jesus is not a cult? Who said that? Did I say that? If I say that, what's going to happen if I say that to you? If I say that I think Jesus is a cult, what are you going to do then? Is that going to change anything that I'm saying? Is what I'm saying and what I'm reading out of Prabhupada's book, does it change if Jesus is a cult or not? Does Krishna being a cult change if Jesus is a cult? If they're both cults, does that make it better? Or if Jesus is not a cult, what's your point? I'm confused, Brainiac. What are you saying? What are you trying to say? Are you one of these guys from Bangalore that's like supposed to be really smart and you're a IT tech or something, and that's your answer to you hear me reading this from Prabhupada's books, and And that's what pops into your head? That's what pops into your head? Is that what pops into your empty head? Your empty, bald, Sika-wearing head? What a fucking idiot. What a fucking idiot. Oh, man. Let me see. What happened here? Where'd I go? Here I am. I'm back. So, what did he say? So now it's Morning Walk Varnashram College, and that's why I think there's some error in the naming of these conversations. Here, I'll show you. So now the Ritviks say Morning Walk Varnashram College, March 14th, 1974. It's the same day, it's just a different, but I don't know if it's actually a different conversation. It's hard to say without actually asking the guy who was standing there with the tape recorder what was going on. So it comes in the middle, and this is why I say, because it comes in the middle of a conversation. They're already in this conversation. And before I get to it, let me see, we got some comments here. Oh, so pissed. I am anti-Prabhupada myself, but you just don't reduce it. You don't need to reply. Shut up. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who you are. You come in here and you talk about Christ and Christianity when I'm obviously talking about Prabhupada, like that has something to do with it, and then you want to claim that you're shut up. I should ban you just for being that stupid. That's what I should do. They're hilarious with Rascals Association of Crows. They don't know what to say sometimes. They never seen anybody like me talk to them. They never had somebody talk to them like this. That's why I say this is a deprogramming class. This is for being deprogrammed. I ain't here to be nice to you. I ain't here to kiss your feet or treat you nice and say, oh, Maharaj this and Maharaj that. Fuck you. You're in a fucking pedophile cult. Fuck you. You want to get out? Shut up and listen to me talk. Because I ain't here to hold your hand and be all baby you around. I didn't hold your hand when you joined this friggin' cult. I didn't baby you into it. I ain't babying you out of it. And if you can't handle it, you fucking get out. Nobody invited you here. I didn't send you an invitation to come in here, be deprogrammed. I don't send out no fucking messages saying, hey, Shrin P and Subhagya Ranjan Sahu, come join my class. I didn't send you no fucking, I didn't send you nothing. I didn't invite you in here. Who invited you in here? And you come in here and start talking shit to me? I didn't ask you to come in here. The fuck? I love how you go off on the trolls. You're like, fuck. They think they're above the law. They think they can marry 12-year-old girls. They think black people are stupid and have small brains, and women have small brains, like to be raped. You know how fucking stupid you gotta be to believe all that shit? Because some old fucking Indian pedophile tells you he's a guru? I mean, seriously, man, let's break it down, man. How fucking stupid you gotta be to follow some old man like Prabhupada claiming to be this and my books are the law books for the next 10,000 years. Oh, okay. Sure. I'm stupid enough to believe that. God damn, man. And yeah, you know what? I believe I was in the cult. I was in it for 20 years. I ain't ashamed to say it. Prabhupada fooled me. He's like he's fooling you. He fooled a bunch of us. He's fooled a bunch of people. I ain't ashamed to say that he fooled me. You think I'm ashamed to say that I was in the cult for 20 years? I ain't ashamed of it. And I ain't afraid to put my face on YouTube and say, fuck you. Like Paranjan's afraid. He didn't want to use his name. Though he wants to act like this and that. Fuck him. Hey, you got nothing to say now? Shrin, P, Rajit, Jugnaught, whatever your fucking name is. Ron John. You got something to say, Ron John? You're anti-Prabhupada. First thing you come in here is you fucking tell me about Christianity and trying to compare Christianity. What the fuck? That's how these idiots are, man. Somebody starts talking about Prabhupada's a fucking this and Prabhupada's a fucking that, and first thing they want to say is Jesus. First thing out of their mouth is Jesus this and Jesus that. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, you get my point. Let's fight pedophilia together. Well, why are you coming in here talking about Christ and Christianity? What the hell was that all about, man? I ain't playing your stupid game. I ain't playing your game. Fucking A, man. You come in here and start talking about Jesus and Christianity is a cult and Jesus is a cult. The fuck, man? Let's fight pedophilia together. Well, you know what you can do? You can start a channel and you can do what I'm doing on your channel. How about you do that? How about you put your money where your mouth is and you start an anti-Krishna cult channel and you can sit and talk about how Prabhupada's a piece of shit and Prabhupada's this and Prabhupada's that. Do that. You want to impress me? Do that. Do that. Okay. So this is the conversation from March 14th, 1974. And Prabhupada says, technological college. So it's the middle of a conversation. We're coming in the middle of a conversation. Technological college. Similarly, this is another college, Varnashram College. Oh boy. Satsvarup. Another brainiac. Satsvarup. For the public in general, Prabhupada, huh? Yes, anyone. Just like engineering college is open for anyone. He must be ready to take up the training. Similarly, this Varnashram College, he must be ready. The student must be ready to take up the training. Hridayananda. Would it be for a particular age group? Prabhupada. Yes, any education from childhood. Yes, education means from childhood. Hare Krishna. How we are getting so many sannyasis. They should teach. Teaching should be done by the sannyasis. Just like in missionary school, the father teaches. So you can see how Prabhupada, he has no idea what he's doing starting a school. He's got no business starting. You know, he's like, yeah, you know, the sannyasis can teach. We'll get the sannyasis to, whether they have teaching credentials or they know how to teach a classroom with kids, little kids, he doesn't care. He's just saying teaching should be done by the sannyasis, just like in missionary school. Missionary schools actually they're real schools, Prabhupada. They're not just a friggin' Gurukula. They're not just a fancy, not even a fancy, a trailer park daycare center. That's what your Gurukulas were. Friggin' trailer parks have a better fucking daycare center than Prabhupada's Gurukula. Prabhupada, Gurukula is only for the small children, preliminary, primary. And when the children are grown up, they should be sent to the Varnashram school or college for further developed training. Hridayananda, should they be taught also should there also be some teaching in some particular skill or varna, such as, say, Prabhupada? No. Hridayananda, say, for example, someone was a kshatriya by inclination or a Prabhupada. No. Inclination can be changed also. If one has got a little, but we should take little advantage of inclination. Not that is to be decided by the inclination or no inclination. We can. That will be done. That is not very difficult. This is a most important item because people have been spoiled all over the world by being misguided by the so-called leaders. Therefore, Varnashram college is required. Hridayananda, but Prabhupada, I'm still not quite clear. In other words, we teach, for example, like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada, yes, Hare Krishna, Jai. Hridayananda, how much would be expected of the students as far as would they live with us and follow the 4 regulative principles like that, or just come for classes? Prabhupada, yes, come to classes you won't get, because nobody has got any taste for such thing. A boarding school or boarding college would. Hridayananda, boarding school? Prabhupada, yes. Hridayananda, and there should there be any material subject matters taught like in Gurukula? Prabhupada, yes, just like material subject matter. So he says, what are the symptoms of Brahmana? What is the symptoms of Kshatriya? The Kshatriya should be taught how to fight. There will be military training. There will be training on how to kill. So Prabhupada wants to train his people how to kill. I can show you right here. He says right there, there will be training how to kill. And it goes on, and he talks about a business. He says, so he says down, there's a lot of breaks in the tape. I'll show you where it says break. A lot of breaks in the tape. It says break. There's a break in the conversation right there. So you don't know what was between those, what was going on. And he says, Hridayananda says, artist is accepted as a philosopher in life. Prabhupada, huh? Hridayananda, in our society, accepted break as a philosopher. Prabhupada, artist? Hridayananda, yeah, the artist. Prabhupada, no. Artist is also business of the Shudra. Hridayananda, yes, but I'm saying in modern society in America, they are considered, Prabhupada, nonsense philosophy. They do not know what is the meaning of philosophy. Hridayananda, yes. Prabhupada, that in your Western countries, the rascals, they are writing philosophy on sex life, which is known by the dog. Hridayananda, yes. Prabhupada, and he is writing so many things, so they are rascals, human being. You see, what is this philosophy? Sex life? Even dog knows how to have sex life, and he's writing philosophy. So this kind of philosophy can be appreciated by the rascals, and we do not accept that. They are not philosopher. Philosopher means who is searching out absolute truth. That is philosophy. Then he goes on and he talks about sex life and the philosophers and sex life. And Hridayananda, it's true, yes, Prabhupada. Otherwise, they are little animals with 4 hands, 2 legs, 2 hands, hand animals. That's all. Yes, reject them. Vedic civilization rejected them, Malechas and Yavanas. But they can be reformed. The process is the same. Not that because they are rejected, they cannot be reclaimed. They can be reclaimed also, just like you are being done. Although you are coming from the Malechas and Yavanas, by training you are becoming more than a Brahmana. So there is no bar for them. So he's saying that they can be trained. So Prabhupada Hridayananda says, so Prabhupada, in this Varnashram college, is it true that there will be no need, for example, teaching material history and mathematics? Prabhupada, no, there is no need. History, we simply read Mahabharata, history of the great men, Pandavas, how they were fighting for the good cause, how they were reigning, that history, not this rascal history, not real history. His made-up mythological history is all that you can read. If you study that history millions of years, what is that history, and what will you learn from that history? You learn everything from that history. He says you learn history of the really great men, how they worked, how they ruled. That is, you study the history of Maharaj Yudhisthira. Yeah, imaginary people. He wants you to study the imaginary people. Hridayananda, Mahabharata. Prabhupada, study the history of Maharaj Pariksit. That is required. Not that simply chronological record all nonsense and big books and making research. Why should you waste your time in that way? So, and he goes on. So then Prabhupada says, Hridayananda says, so in our Varnashram College, the students that come to our college, they follow the four principles. They follow. Prabhupada, four principles essential. But only the Sudras or the Kshatriyas. Just like Kshatriyas, they have to learn how to kill. So practically, they should go to the forest and kill some animal. And if he likes, he can eat also. If he likes, he can eat also. Then he goes on about, okay, so here he goes, Prabhupada, no cow. The Sudras, they can take a goat and sacrifice before the deity. Kali, goddess Kali, and then eat. Nobody should be given unrestricted freedom to eat meat or wine. So no wine, no meat. If one is adamant to drink wine, then there is Kandi Puja, Durga Puja. That means restriction. Similarly, sex life, marriage, that is also sex life, but under condition. So no sex, no wine, no meat eating. He wants the whole world to be following four regular principles. Satsvarup, Srila Prabhupada, is this school for women also or just for men? Satsvarup. I don't know where you're going with this. Prabhupada, for men, women should automatically learn how to cook, how to cleanse home, how to spin. Remember, he's spinning. They can spin, they can cook, and they can clean the house. Satsvarup. So they don't attend Varnashram College? Prabhupada, no. Varnashram College, especially meant for the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya. Those who are not fit for education, they are Sudras. That's all. Or those who are reluctant to take education. They should assist the higher class. So, Hridayananda is going on with Prabhupada about what they should be teaching. They should, from the very beginning, we should teach Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada says yes. So he goes on. Satsvarup actually says that I was trying to look for this one place here where Satsvarup wants all the philosophers to be relocated onto farms. And it's in here, but it's down a ways. I think I found it. Let's see. Oh my goodness. He says, Prabhupada here says, do that. Kirtanananda Maharaj and you combine together, do that. That means start this school. He says, Vishnu John says, New Vrindavan would be an ideal place in America for such a school. Prabhupada, yes, organize that. Do that. Kirtanananda Maharaj and you, and combine together, do that. So this is a very long conversation. They go on, and they're talking about schooling and preaching. And so he says, Hridayananda says, room and board and training. Prabhupada, yes, this poverty. Why there is poverty? Because they are not producing food. Everyone wants so-called comfortable life, so-called education. Sitting idle in the table and chair and taking all gossips, nonsense, and sleeping. They have been trained up in this way. Hridayananda, so they should be trained to rise early and so on. Prabhupada, yes. If you keep healthy, then you will naturally rise early in the morning. But because you have lost all, what is it called, stamina? Uh, you know, he Prabhupada actually uses he actually says Negro here somewhere. I'm just going to pretend. I spent enough time on that. But he goes on and on. Oh, he's saying, I'm sorry, it's taking a long time. I just don't want to. Okay, so let me see. We got some comments here. Uh, Tell us your story, man. Tell us your story, man. You can watch my other videos. I'm not gonna take this time. I mean, did you not see the thumbnail that says Prabhupada and Extremism? This isn't Mike's story time. Mike's story time, I have plenty of videos where I talk about my history and who I am and what I did and my 20 years in the Hare Krishnas. Okay? If you really want to know, instead of just being an idiot, if you really want to know, you'll go watch a video. How's that? That shows me how serious you are. You don't want to know. You don't want to know who I am. You don't give a fuck about who I am. The all-knower of past, present, and future put Kirtananda to run the school, and the OG of criminals, such pure devotee. Yeah, yeah. He says, you and Kirtananda can all go open a school in New Vrindavan. Sounds like a good idea to me. And he knew Kirtananda better than anyone. Prabhupada knew Kirtananda better than anyone. How do you like that? So here is where Prabhupada says, Prabhupada, when it will teach military art with tilak. See, this is why I believe that this is part of that Varnashram conversation. With tilak, soldiers will Hare Krishna, we want that. Marching with military band. You maintain this idea. Is it not good, Hridayananda? Yes, Prabhupada. Prabhupada, when will be military march of Krishna conscious soldiers? Anyone who does not believe in Krishna, blam, laughter. Yes, the same process as the Mohammedans did with sword and Quran. We'll have to do that. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to show you where it is. It's right here. Prabhupada says, when will there be military march of Krishna conscious soldiers? Anyone who does not believe in Krishna, blam, laughter. Yes, the same process as the Mohammedans did with sword and Quran. We'll have to do that. Do you believe in Krishna or not? No, sir. Blam, finished, laughter. Prabhupada laughs. What do you think, Madhuvisa Maharaj? Is that all right? So I'm believing that it's the same conversation that she quoted, but it doesn't have the atom bomb where he talks about the atom bomb. It's such a similar conversation. It's hard for me to believe that Prabhupada. It's hard for me to believe that Prabhupada had the same conversation 2 days in a row, or said almost the exact same thing, statement like that about the atom bomb and saying blam and shooting them and do you believe in Krishna? I think it was all said at one time in one conversation. Why that conversation is not verbatim the way she has it, I think she got, personally, my personal explanation for why her version is, she's got it quoted differently, is because she quoted it out of the books, the conversation books that was transcribed by somebody. It's not a digital copy. It's taken from the tape recording and it was transcribed into a book. When they digitized these lectures or these books or whatever, and they put it onto CD-ROM or DVD or however they did it, I believe something happened. That's my own personal belief. And when it went from the original books to the Veda base, I think something happened there too. Now, I don't know why they would take this one small section of one small conversation out when there's so many other things that you would have to take everything out. It's like, why would you redact this when you have to redact all that stuff about the Negroes, and you have to redact all that stuff about child marriage, and you have to redact all this stuff. You'd be redacting every other page would have something missing, and I guess every other page does have. I don't know. It's hard to say what's missed, what's true or not. I have no idea. So this is where he says he wants people going out working on the farms. And then he says, where is this? Prabhupada says, what these communists can do, we can do better than them. We can kill many communists like that. Then it will be counteraction of communist movement. And you think like that. Why you are sitting idly, no employment? Come on to the field, take this plow, take this bull. Go on working. Why are you sitting idly? This is Krishna consciousness movement. Nobody should be allowed to sit down and sleep. They must find some employment. This is like, I wanted to find where he says, send the philosophers out to the fields. This conversation is just so long. It's just so friggin' long. He says, Prabhupada says, the philosophers, they only know sex life and this and that. I think I passed it, but he says, Prabhupada, he says, the philosophers need to go out to the field and go to work with the plow or whatever. And I was thinking, and my first thought that it came to is, it's like a cultural it's like moving the intellectuals out to the farm, like Pol Pot, like Cambodia. Like Cambodia is like the Cultural Revolution in China. It's like we're going to move everybody, all the intellectuals, philosophers, artists. We're going to take all those people, we're going to move them out, we're going to put them on fire, we're going to put them to work. No one can just sit and have a job where they, sit in an office and push a pen around. No, we're going to put them to work. We're going to put them to work on farms, and everyone's going to be on a farm, and they're going to be working, especially these philosophers, because how dare they just sit and write books about sex life all day. Meanwhile, I'm translating books about sex life all day. I can write books. I can write books as long as I can talk about sex life all day long. But these philosophers and these artists and these materialists that are talking about sex life all day long, no, we can't have any of that. We're going to take all these people, we're going to put them out on the farms, and we're going to re-educate them. We're going to put them on these re-education farms, and we're going to turn them into Hare Krishnas. This is what he's saying. And I know you go, well, that's crazy. It is crazy. It is fucking insane. But this is his plan, and he's telling these guys, this is what he wants. I want a school. I want a Varnashram school where 10-year-old kids go, and they learn how to do it, and they learn how to kill. And we're going to have Krishna soldiers, and we're going to be killing people. He says, if the Mohammedans can do it, we can do it too. And what do they do? They go and shoot a guy in the head in the van. And the guy that shoots the guy in the van, he's in jail, but what does he get to be? He gets to become a Swami. What the fuck? They get to marry 12-year-old girls, 11-year-old girls. Swamis get to touch little girls and do all kinds of... This is friggin' insanity. And Prabhupada's having this talk. He's telling them exactly what he wants. Women can sew. Women can spin cloth. And they can sew, and they can clean the house. And they can learn to cook. But they can't go to school. No, girls don't go to school. What are you, insane? This is what Prabhupada wants. This is Prabhupada. This is what Prabhupada wants. This is what his whole movement is about. They're just waiting. Prabhupada already designated Kirtananda to chant on newcomers' beads for Diksha from Prabhupada in 75, maybe earlier. Yeah. Yeah. They want to, this whole thing is so screwed up. It's just disgusting. It's disgusting, man. It's just more of the same. More of the same, fake human, man. And it's not just, it's not just retards are us or mental incorporated in it. It's evil retards are us. It's demental. It's demental. Demented. It's demented. How can you say, probably no different than the Taliban, than the ISIS. He wants to marry off little girls to grown men. He doesn't want women to go to school. He doesn't want them to do anything. He doesn't want them. Freaking insane. Oh, you're another brainwashed nut. I'm glad you found the right place, because you need to get your stupid ass brainwashed ass deprogrammed so you can hear the truth about this disgusting pedophile cult that you're in. Why are you even in this disgusting pedophile cult? Let me put it to you. You want me to chant and be happy? Chant and be happy. I can do anything and be happy. You mean chant and be miserable? Like all you people are fucking miserable? Chant and be happy. What's happy about chanting? Oh, because you get a 12-year-old wife? You want a 12-year-old wife? That makes you happy? Is that what makes you happy? You get to be racist towards all the black body devotees? Does that make you happy too? You can call them black body, and you can call them less intelligent, and you can call them all these names and call them Negro like Prabhupada did. Is that supposed to make me happy? And then denying the Holocaust and saying the Jews were the problem in World War II. Is that supposed to make me happy too? All this shit's supposed to make me happy? And hearing about all the children that were molested and my daughter being molested, that's supposed to make me happy? Is that supposed to make me happy? Knowing that Prabhupada was a 22-year-old man that had sex with an 11-year-old girl, is that supposed to make me happy? That makes me want to puke, makes me want to throw up. How does that make me happy? Knowing that Prabhupada had sex with an 11-year-old girl when he was 22 years old does not make me happy. I'm sorry to tell you. It just doesn't make me happy. Makes me want to fucking... Maybe you find that joyous and liberating, that Prabhupada was a friggin' 22-year-old pedophile, had sex with an 11-year-old girl. Maybe that just makes you want to throw flowers and drink his bathwater. I don't know. Not me. That's not me. Not me at all. You want to worship a friggin' old Indian self-proclaimed guru who ran around talking about my books are going to be the law books for the next 10,000 years, like some fucking insane asylum. Like he just got out of an insane asylum. I wrote a book and people are going to follow me forever. 10,000 years, everyone's going to read my book. Now go sell it at the DMV parking lot. Yeah, your 10,000-year-old law books, your law book for the next 10,000 years is readily available at any Safeway parking lot, DMV parking lot. You can go pick one up from one of these traveling book salesmen dressed in orange, sitting in the middle of Krakow town square on a bench with a little book table with his little Krishna books there. And you can read it with your little chant and be happy book. Your little chant and be happy book. Yeah. Friggin' insanity. And you know what? I think I've done enough with the extremism. I showed Prabhupada how his views on women, how women don't get any rights, anything. I mean, I pretty much showed you how Prabhupada is exactly like the Taliban. He's exactly like the Taliban. You haven't met one person. I haven't met one. I was in the Hare Krishnas for 20 years. I never met one happy person. I never met one happy person. Everybody's angry, pissed, stressed out, anxiety, this, that. I'm not fucking happy. You know what makes me happy? It's fucking laughing at you fucking freaks. That's how Krishna consciousness makes me happy. It's not the chanting. It's knowing that I got out and you fucking idiot freaks are still in there. That's the only happy thing about it, is that I got out and you people are still in there. And and even though that makes me happy, I'm trying to help you guys get out. I'm not doing this for me. I already know all this shit. We already know all this shit. I'm trying to help you people get out. Try so you can see the truth, because I know that you're fucking limited in what you understand, and what you can digest, and what you can see and hear, who you can associate with. And it works because you guys come in here all the time. You guys come in here all the time like, bedtime stories. I know, bedtime stories in a shopping cart, man. That's the saddest thing ever. Let's do the wheel of sadness. All right, I'm gonna have to rename it to the wheel of pity. The wheel of pity. Do we have any Hare Krishnas in here that can watch this? They can watch this and see. No Hare Krishnas in here. Friggin' idiots. These guys come in here and they want to act like they're not a Hare Krishna. Fool me. Yeah, fool me. Let's fight pedophilia together. Give me a break. I'm on your side, buddy. I really am. I'm on your side. Now tell me more about Jesus and Christianity. Fucking idiot. Where's that wheel? Where'd that wheel go? Here we go. All right. One of my favorite parts of the show. One of my favorite parts of this, and I call it a show. I know we're streaming, but I call it a show because it's better to be in show business than in stream business. And there's no business like stream business. No business I know. There we go. And we have our theme music, our wheel music, our wheel music. Just test it out. There we go, the wheel. Everybody's favorite, the wheel, and soon to be coming to NBC next fall. It's gonna be the Wheel of Idiot. They're taking off Wheel of Fortune and they're putting on Wheel of Idiot. I'm getting such good ratings. Okay, so we have to get our sound effects. We can get our Jeopardy theme. Everybody, pick your favorite idiot, and we'll see who it's going to land on today. And I know I got my favorite. I know who I'm pulling for. Let's see what we can do here, and let's go with the wheel. Oh, it's my old friend, Yashodananda. Who could have guessed that was going to happen? Yashodananda Swami. He's the big winner today, everybody. Yashodananda Swami. And so let's go and let's find some Yashodananda. That's too funny. Let's see. Where are we gonna go here? I watch that later. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see what we got. This is actually the Hare Krishna Society. It was what I was working. Oh, what am I doing on here? How did I get double? There we go. Hare Krishna Society was the organization that I was with during my time. And let's see what we got here. See what these brainiacs are talking about.
So we'll be reciting the verses from the introduction.
What happened here?
We'll be reciting the verses
from
the introduction on page number 1. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam.
All right, let me just say this is very triggering for me. I can't handle hearing his voice. I can't handle hearing him chanting this bullshit. I heard this so much in my days being around this man, and hearing this and seeing him and dealing with this and all these lectures and all of this crap from this man. That this hearing him and doing all this is really is freaking me out. Seriously, it is. It's
Dadati svapadantikam vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam.
And I find it interesting that it says right here, the unsuccessful yogi's destination after death. So he's going to give a lecture about the unsuccessful yogi's destination after death, and which is fitting because he's an unsuccessful yogi. He, of course, was a Swami, Yashodanandan Swami. He was right there with Prabhupada. He is in the conversations books. He's in the lecture books. He's in the videos with Prabhupada as a young man, and there's so many photographs of him with Prabhupada. He was at the school in Vrindavan. When Prabhupada was there, he was and he was a Swami for many years, and then he's not anymore. He's not anymore. And I never asked him because, of course, that's like an offense to ask, hey, what happened? Were you banging some girl or something? Which obviously he was. Because he ended up getting married. It's not like these guys fall down. It's not like these swamis fall down and here I am again. Like Yashodanandan, like, I don't know. I heard that he abused some kids in the school, but I don't know that he like sexually abused anybody. I don't know any details of anything he did. There's rumors that he was one of the abusers in the school, but he denies any of that. I don't know if that's true or not. But he was a Swami, and he's not a Swami anymore. He fell down, and he got married and divorced and then married again. He's got some kids and everything. It's not like a fall down. Okay, now a fall down is he's a Swami and he does something. He looks at a woman with lust in his heart, or he sees too much ankle, or he sees too much breasts on a woman, or he has impure thoughts. It breaks his concentration. Or he gets too close with his female disciple and has her coming in and cleaning his room, and then realizes, oh, you know what? I shouldn't have her come in and clean my room. I'm going a little too far with that. That's a fall down. Not having sex with your disciple and covering it up for 6 months. That's not a fall down. That's breaking your vows on purpose. So Yashodananda, but he didn't have a fall down. He may have had a fall down. Maybe he fell down. Maybe he fell down. But why didn't he continue on as a Swami? Why didn't he just say, hey, I looked, I saw, whatever it was. I ate some meat. I bought a lottery. I don't know. And go back. No, he didn't. See, it's not a fall. These are not fall downs. This is breaking your vow. This is going from, okay, I'm a sannyasi, I'm a Swami. And I'm a Swami and I'm preaching all this Swami stuff about sex, illicit sex and all this. And then you end up breaking your vows for sex to go get married so you can get married. When you've been preaching about giving it all up. So what, you can't follow your own preaching? It's like you're just talking. All that talk about the holy name will purify your senses, and all your desires will go away. They'll just fly away like butterflies migrating across the. This is all bullshit. Your desires don't go away. You just put them in the back of your mind until they finally pop out somewhere. Ain't cleaning nothing, ain't cleansing nothing, ain't doing nothing. And so he falls down, however he falls down, but it's not a fall down. It's like, well, I'm just going to get married then. That's even worse than a fall down. That's worse than a fall down. A fall down is you're a Swami and you're in the forest and you're meditating and you break your concentration. Like that story about the deer, and he got attracted to the deer, and then he took birth as a deer because he was. This is not a fault. This is basically like I'm not doing the Swami thing anymore. Why? Because you don't believe in it? Because it's not important. It's not as important as you thought it was. Now you can just go from Swami to married to back to not. How is that any different than Radha Kunda that wants to be a Hare Krishna on the weekends, but during the week he wants to go to Walking Street? How is that any different? Just because there's more time in between? Radha Kunda wants to be a devotee Monday through Friday and then go out on the weekend and party. But you want to just be a Hare Krishna from 75 to 85, and then you're going to come back at 92 and be a devotee from 92. Well, it's no different. And then you want to sit there and talk about an unsuccessful yogi? You're the unsuccessful yogi. You got a lot of nerds sitting there talking about giving a lecture on an unsuccessful yogi when you're the epitome of the unsuccessful yogi. You didn't even fall down. You didn't even have a scandal. You just left. You just decided, I'm not doing it no more. You didn't even have a scandal. You didn't even have a fall down. You just said, I'm done with that. I'm gonna go get married, and you're the full-on hypocrite. Yashodananda is the epitome of a fanatic who hates his life but has no other choice than to keep going. You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. That's a good description. A good description of him. He is a fanatic. He's got a lot going on in his head. He got a lot of strands in the old duder's head, man, because he's totally into this Ritvik thing, which means he can't be a guru, but he wants more than anything to be a guru. He wants to be that guru guy. He wants to be guru. He wants to be the guy that does the thing. He wants to be Indrayumna Swami, but he doesn't want to be Indrayumna Swami because he's the Ritvik guy. And the Ritvik guy says, no, we don't have gurus in the Ritviks. So Yashoda's like, well, but I'm the head guy. How can you be the head guy if you're a Ritvik? Because Ritviks were all supposed to. That was my thing. And that was a main thing for me. Was like, how are you telling me that I'm less of a Ritvik than you? Because you're a Prabhupada disciple, but your whole argument is that we're all Prabhupada's disciple, and we're all disciples of Prabhupada. But no, when it comes down to it, I wasn't. I was Mike. I wasn't really Sri Mukunda. Even though I had a Ritvik initiation, and I had the ceremony and the shaved head, and I've been to India, and I did all of it, and I did all that, chanting, to them, nah. I'm in it for 20 years, but I'm the new guy. How the fuck am I the new guy? I got as many years in, I got more years in now than you had when you met me. The fuck? You got the nerve to sit there and directly contradict your whole Ritvik argument about how we're all Prabhupada's disciples, and then when I call you guys out on the Tattva Darshan thing, you're gonna sit there and tell me how I'm subordinate to you guys because you guys are the Prabhupada disciples, and I need to just surrender to you? That's ISKCON shit. That ain't Ritvik shit. That's just your regular, average, everyday ISKCON bullshit. Regular, run-of-the-mill, average ISKCON bullshit. These Ritviks ain't nothing special, man. They're no different than anybody else. At the end, it's just a career from it is. That's why I said when you're 65 years old and all you've been doing is pushing a shopping cart around Costco parking lot, you ain't got nothing. Like that Radharani. Poor Radharani, man, she wasted her whole life. She's 65 years old now. She ain't got no friggin' Social Security. She ain't got nothing. She ain't got no Medicare, Medicaid. She ain't got no Social Security. She ain't got nothing. She got nothing. She out there, man. I'm the same age as Radharani. I don't want to be out there every day trying to hustle some books just so I can get me a bowl of rice from old lady Madhavi Devi. Man, I ain't gonna fall into that. You ain't gonna trick me. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on me. Radharani, man, poor old lady Radharani, man. She's out there hustling books at the Forum, at the what is that, SoFi Stadium, and the Hollywood Bowl, hustling those stupid books. Same thing she was doing friggin' 45 years ago. Man, just keep doing it, Radharani. Just keep doing it, man. You might as well stay in now. You gotta just stay in it. You stay in. And you showed it too. And he's not going anywhere. He's never going to open a temple. He's never going to run a temple. He's never going to be the main pujari of a temple. He's never going to do any of that. He's going to just sit in his house in Downey or wherever he lives in Downey, and he's going to have his little class. He's going to do his little thing online like he's doing. And he's going to dress up and cosplay as this holy man in front of his books and his little Prabhupada bookshelf, give his lectures on the destination of an unsuccessful. Look at this guy, man. Just for bullshit. What has he got to say? Man, just
America, in India, in a Gujarati family, or whatever. Everybody is subjected to that. And nobody can come out of that so easily. It is not so easy. But it can be done by the mercy of a pure.
One thing that I could never get over with this guy was his friggin' that hockey player accent. He's like, yeah, the holy name and this, and he just talks like a friggin' He looked like a friggin' Canadian guy that grew up in Brooklyn or something, you know, like some demented Bugs Bunny. I don't know. He does have that. Listen to this guy. Listen to this. I had to listen to this. So I had to listen to this every friggin' day.
Bodhi. So after we finished explaining to this gentleman that the whole idea of chanting and doing the puja, worshiping Krishna is go back to Krishna, where there's no more suffering. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvataha tyaktva punarjanma naiti mamiti so Arjuna. That if one remembers Krishna or knows the nature of Lord Krishna's activity, janma karma chame divyam.
And talk about wasting your life. Talk about wasting your life, man. Talk about wasting your life. Man, but this is the best one. I you know, if I would like to have a frame copy of that and put it on my wall, man. Like an old lady Madhavi, and she bad news. She's bad news, man. Oh, man. They're all still doing the pigs, selling whatever on the streets. There was one devotee in the Bay Area, Kasturi Manjari, who would dress as a veteran working security and collect money on the streets. Man, anything but get a job. Anything but get a job, man. I wasn't playing that game, man. I said, you know what? I went to school. I put myself through school to become a travel agent. I said, I'm not doing it. I'll be a Hare Krishna, but I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be poor. I'm not going to be poor. I'm already poor. You want me to be even poorer? Like I'm already working paycheck to paycheck. Bills got me slammed and everything. You want me to move into a temple and just be like poor and then have you guys telling me everything and going out and selling? But fuck that. You gotta be out of your goddamn minds. You gotta be out of your mind. It's insane. Rocket science. Sita Devi Dasi, female devotee who's 68 years old, I believe has no social security, no insurances, no financial planning, no savings. And she's now in Vrindavan tending to cows and these gurus. Yeah. That's Prabhupada's plan. Put everybody to work, tending to cows, growing vegetables. Just everybody is working, waste your life, just waste your life. And then when something happens to her in India, what's going to happen when she's in India? Everybody thinks that death is just going to come, and it is going to come, but, a lot of times it's painful. A lot of times there's an illness before death comes. It's not, I don't know what these devotees are thinking, wasting your life. And then you're just going to be, I know, yeah, and this is the other thing. All in Narayan Maharaj disciples growing pot and badger, doing the pick on the streets. They neglect their children's primary financial needs. They all live on survival mode. Exactly. They do. They live paycheck to paycheck or, whatever they can get day to day. Not even paycheck. They did work day to day. It's sad. And that's what Prabhupada's got them brainwashed into thinking that that's better. Like, that's better than, going to work at American Express, having a job. Put a picture of Prabhupada on your desk. Go chant your rounds. You could do. I did. That's what I did. Friggin', I was in it for 20 years. I always had a job. It's not like you're getting a job and you're going to go, oh, I go to work every day. I'm not in the cult anymore. No, you're gonna be in the cult and you're gonna be at your job and you're gonna be like, all these people are karmis and they're all eating meat. You're gonna be the same guy that you are. It's the same shit. I was just a Hare Krishna that had money. I had my own paycheck. I mean, there's a lot of Hare Krishnas like that. I'm not saying I'm the only one. I'm just saying that was my lifestyle. I wasn't gonna move into the temple after they molested my daughter. They molested my daughter. I'm definitely not moving into your friggin' apartment building. God damn, what the fuck? But I mean, you know how many Hare Krishnas at the LA temple? They didn't know how to do anything but just drive a, a taxi. 50-year-old men have no skills at doing anything. None. Because they never did anything. Like, they joined when they were 20 years old. They're like in college. They never had a job. They've been selling books. They've been driving a taxi. That's it. My roommate, Vadiraj, he's a grown man. He's a grown man. I knew him for like so many years. He could have, if he had got a if he had got a job somewhere when I first met him. By the time I left Hare Krishna, he would have been 10 years in. He would have been a manager or a director of what, it didn't matter what he was doing. He could have been working at Starbucks. After 10 years, he would have moved up and done, no, he was just driving a cab. He's driving a cab every friggin' day of his life for 50 years. It's insane. And this other guy, what was that guy's name? The little guy played a guitar. Hansagati. This little short guy. Shorter than me. I'm short. I'm only 5'6" and a half and 3/4. And he's shorter than me. So that's how I know people that when they're shorter than me, they short. Hansagati, he was one of these little scammer dudes. He's always got some scam. Hey, I'm raising money for this. Hey, I'm raising money for that. And then he'd drive a taxi. And this guy older than me. It's like, why don't you just have a regular job? Bhargava. Living in a camper on Watsika Avenue. Why don't you just have a job? Why don't you just and Bhakta Jim or whatever, I forget that other guy's name. He lived in a van. Living in a van. And he didn't even go to the temple. He was just wanted to be near the devotees, living in a van on Watsika and just living on whatever money he would get. I don't know if he's on Social Security or whatever he was on, disability. Yes, I know so many Hare Krishnas on disability. It's like, you're not disabled. Why don't you just go get a job? No, I don't want no job, man. I ain't get no job. I remember then saying, I got to collect and work the streets. I know. I didn't know what the pick was until later. I didn't know what the pick was either. And I'm like, pick? I'm like, yeah, like we're picking money, like pickpocketing or picking money out of their pocket. They cannot get a normal job. They just cannot get a normal job. They just cannot get a normal job. It is some. It's against the regulative principles to work. Yeah, they think that they're associating. They think they're associating with karmis if they're working a regular job. And that's why I say you're not controlling your senses. These fucking fakers and cosplayers, these gurus aren't controlling anything. They're just avoiding women. You're not in control of your senses. You don't want to, if you're in control of your senses, go be around women. Show me that you're in control. Show me you're in control. Otherwise, you're full of shit. Me, on the other hand, I can go be around women. I'm not freaking out. I'm not touching them or grabbing them. I'm not having impure thoughts. I can appreciate the beauty of a woman, no different than the beauty of a flower. But that doesn't mean I'm like lusting over every single woman I see, and I'm just immediately going, ooh. That's what they think. That's what they think we're doing. They have no concept of what it's like to just be a normal person. Well, they're not anymore. Once they become brainwashed, they That's why so many Hare Krishna are in prison for doing dodgy business to make ends meet instead of getting karmi jobs, as they call it. I know. So this Krishna Kata, this my friend Radhakunda's girlfriend that went to India, that took him to India and did this whole thing in India with him in Vrindavan. She was running a scam. She was running these scams out of Badger, out of her house, out of Badger. She was running these scams, these visa scams. She was scamming Indians. I guess she was posing as a visa, like she'll help you get your visa or something for a U.S. I don't know what I don't know what she was doing, because I heard about it after the fact. But she was ripping, I guess she was ripping Indians off with some kind of visa scamming. It's like, and she had money somehow. She had this house and land, all this land and a house in Badger. But they're all involved. They're all involved in these scams. Radhakunda too. I hate to say it, but to be honest with you, Radhakunda was into scamming people too. I don't know what he did because I never found out, but I got a pretty good idea that he was doing like credit card fraud, or credit card scamming, or credit card theft or something. I don't know. I have no idea. I seriously don't. I'm not hiding it. I do not know. But I know he was into doing something. And they all hippies who were brainwashed, trained, and raised in the temples to abuse the system. And they were abused. They're like the guy that says, I can answer my phone in the car while I'm driving. Like, I'm a devotee. I can do that. And I know it's a little thing, but it's not. That is actually how they think. I'm a devotee, but I can rip people off. I'm ripping off karmis. I'm liberating their money. I'm taking their money and I'm taking it back to Krishna. I ain't taking it back to Krishna. You're putting it in your friggin' pocket. Krishna Kata, you're putting it in your pocket. And then you're buying drugs or whatever you're doing with it up in Badger. And you want to justify everything by saying that, I'm liberating Lakshmi from the karmis. Anything to get the money away from the karmis is okay. Go to your pot shop. Running after that kiwi, man. Running after that kiwi. So that's going to do it for today. I want to thank everybody for joining in today. We got to see how extremist these Hare Krishnas are. We had some trolls come in here. I don't have time for these trolls that want to pretend like they're on our side or whatever. We know we know you're not. We know you're here. You're here to just spy and watch and disrupt and all of that crap. And you're not fooling anybody, and you're not fooling me. Holding a job, getting educated, having a normal family is being called a karmi. But selling pot now that is good. I know it is. So we went up to Badger and we were looking for pot. We went up there and Radhakun's like, yeah, I know this guy, he sells pot. This devotee. These are all devotees. I know this devotee, he sells pot in the from the trailer park. There's a trailer park up there in Badger. He's like, let's go to the trailer park and we get some weed from the guy in. We get some weed from the guy in the trailer park. I don't remember the devotee's name. I don't know. The one devotee that I remember from Badger that I didn't know, but I went to his house. His name was Mahabooty. Mahabooty was the devotee in Badger that I knew. That I went to his house. So Radhakun says, let's go to this trailer park and we'll get some weed from this devotee there. So we go to this devotee's trailer, and Radhakun, the guy comes out to the car. The guy comes out to the car, and I don't know who he was, what his name was, whatever. I think he was in LA for a while, and then he moved to Badger. But anyway, so he comes to the car, and Radhakun's like, hey, we want to buy some pot. and he's like, "Oh man, I don't have any pot. I had to clear out my place because the cops came. The cops came." He's like, "The cops came, and I had to clean out my trailer." And I was like, "Oh." And he's like, "Yeah, I was cooking." He was cooking, so you know what he was cooking. He was like cooking meth. He's cooking meth. He's like, I was cooking a lot, and so they came and they said, and they were like, "Hey, we noticed you're cooking. What are you cooking? We noticed you cook. What are you cooking in there?" And he said, "I cooked these pies," and he had these pies. He says, "I'm a Hare Krishna, and we're always cooking. I'm always cooking something." And he goes, "I got these pies, and I'm cooking this other stuff." And he's laughing. He's going, "I just told him I'm cooking this, I'm cooking that. I'm cooking all this stuff. I'm cooking this food. We're Krishnas, we cook a lot." And then the cops went away. And he goes, "Yeah, so he goes, when they came and did that, he goes, I got scared, and I got scared, and I just got rid of everything, and I'm just going to lay low for a while." And we were like, "Oh man, we want to get some weed. We're looking for some weed." And he was like, "Well, I know a guy. If you go to so and so, you go down here to the whatever." And then I don't remember what else happened. I think we ended up going to San Francisco and getting some weed in San Francisco. But anyway, that's what happened. That's what happened in Badger. That was my adventure in Badger. Yeah, he's cooking up pies. He was cooking up pies. He was cooking. He was cooking up pie. No rice pie. I don't want none of that good rice pie. That'd get me in trouble. Come back with some good rice pie. I don't want no rice cakes. I don't want no rice cakes, man. I don't rice. But I think the next show I'm going to do, the next stream I'm going to do is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ramananda Roy. I think we're going to do that. So you can look for that. I don't know when. Probably tomorrow. I'm going to do that. Badger is such a dark place. The devotees there are only showing face. They're all selling drugs behind. I have a feeling of that. When I went up there, and of course this was 30 years ago. This is like 20, 28, 29 years ago. It seemed like a weird place. It seemed like a weird place for devotees to go. And then when the guy was telling me about cooking the pies, I was like, now I can see why these guys are up here. They can do all their shady shit up here, kind of out of the way, and no one knows what's going on. But the cops know cops always know what's going on. Taking the money for it's so shady, and and we laugh and we joke, and it's all funny, but it's really evil. It's really evil, and it's sick and disgusting. And but I know that we're getting through. I know we're getting through to some of these people, because they keep coming back. They keep coming back and watching. I mean, that's the real sign. That's the real sign that things are working, because viewership's up, and subscribers are up, and all that is important. And the chatters are up and all of that, so it's great. And I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank everybody for joining in, man. It's really important when you guys join in, and people end up dead in the woods of Badger. Yeah, I wouldn't go any. I wouldn't go anywhere near Badger. I wouldn't go anywhere near a Hare Krishna temple or a Hare Krishna community, and I'm serious about that. I go to Vrindavan, but I don't know if I'll ever go back to Vrindavan again. I mean, seriously. I would like to go back, but really, seriously, I don't know if I'll ever go back. And I stay away from Govinda's restaurants, and I stay away from Hare Krishna temples, because these people are insane, and you don't know what they'll do. You just don't. You just don't know what they'll do. They're like the Taliban. They're like ISIS. They're mentally unstable. They believe a lot of weird shit, and they hate everybody. So when you put all those things together, man, it's like a ticking time bomb, literally. A ticking time bomb. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching, everybody for joining in, Howard Johnson, Eliana, everybody. a fake human. Who else? Did I miss anybody? Tim, anybody? Rafal, man. Keep sending me that stuff. I got a video right now that I'm going to watch. And Hayden and anybody else that I missed. I'm sorry if I missed you. Ruby and Easy Market. Oh, yeah, we got to check out Indra Yumna and find out what's going on with him. I'm going to research that right now. Figure out what's going on with Indra Yumna, and we'll come back and we'll tie in Indra Yumna and Ramananda Roy together, and it'll be one big freaking class on the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great night, great whatever evening. Have some great luck, and please stay out of a cult. And for all you new people out there that don't know who I am, and for the guy earlier was like, what's your story? I'm going to show you my story right now. Here you go.